Nhl making them beats again.
Trenches. Come get some work on your free time. Nico Trenches, we train O-line and D-line. Getting sacks on quarterbacks, you know we live. When you kick at 45, keep your nose on his inside. You better punch something, keep your feet moving, dog. My 3 tech and 1 tech, they some real hoes. My DN 6'5", he ain't got no flaws. Good grades, good feet, man, he got it all.
Good evening, everybody. We are back, episode 57, Bushleague Sports. I'm your host, TKB. As always, going to be joined by the beautiful Sleep. We'll get dialed in on everything we think is going to happen in the NHL playoffs. You tell us if it's Bushleague or not. Are the Leafs going to make it out of the first round? No clue. Bruins aren't there for the first time in a long time. Looking like Montreal. Going to be the last ones in there. And then a big UFC 314 card last night. A couple big fights at the end. Patty Bimblett looked pretty dominant over our guy there, Michael Chandler. We got a few of his cards. And then a big old Alexander Volkanovski returning to the title for the second time. And speaking of that, we'll be live on Whatnot, which we are right now as well. We'll be doing cards the whole time, just singles. Doing a little different this evening than usual. Instead of filling breaks, we're going to have singles, UFC, NHL all night. So hop in on Whatnot. We'll have the link live, selling cards there all night. If you're in on Whatnot, thank you. Appreciate you. Blasties, Treasure, Chris, MBZ Sports Cards, all you guys hanging out, ripping, chilling. You'll love to see it. We got Sleep sharing the stream, few others. Appreciate you. And thanks for saying, what a jersey we have. Well, see, Calgary's the last team with a chance to get in. And so if you're wondering who I'm talking to, I'm talking to people over on Whatnot. But Calgary's with the last team with a chance to get in. So I figured I'd rock it, put the hair down because she's a Yager jersey, right? And just really live it up for the people. And then before we do it, I want to do something a little different. Something I've never done before. But I want you guys to know, you know what really grinds my gears? You go to a restaurant nowadays, whatever, they got these menus. They're flashing. They're doing all kinds of stuff. I don't know what it's doing. It's flipping. And then they're sitting there. They're like, hey, could you what do you want? You want to order? It's like, I need 48 seconds for the menu to flash through a couple times. It goes by 5 seconds. If you could just maybe shut the fuck up for a little bit, let it full through, and then I'll pick. Because if you're like, what do you want before I can see the whole menu, you need to go ahead and F yourself. Nonetheless, we're going to get back to sports in a second. So we'll see you there. Check us out on Whatnot. We'll be joined, as always, by my man Sleep.
Say, man, you're in a privileged position right now. You're in a place to be. Matter of fact, the place that you with the one and only SNOOP. So what you gonna do now? Turn that shit up.
Nhl making them beats again.
Trenches. Come get some work on your free time. Nico Trenches, we train O-line and D-line. Getting sacks on quarterbacks, you know we live. When you kick at 45, keep your nose on his inside. You better punch something, keep your feet moving, dog. My 3 tech and 1 tech, they some real hoes. My DN 6'5", he ain't got no flaws.
That's
good
a Bushleague
grades, good
question.
feet, man, he got it all.
I understand.
California, so it'd be cool for you know, family to come back to Canada.
I always fuck all my American buddies. You guys never get out.
To the pro.
My hometown. What do you
Way back home, you know,
You gotta spin. That's you get around the edge and you gotta bend. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at.
Nhl making them beats
I'm
again.
in the trenches where the lineman at. Where the lineman at. Where the lineman at. D tackle be your dance.
Let's go. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Dude, what are you talking about? Scrolling menus? I have no clue what you're. Is that
You never been to
BFM Saskatchewan?
maybe I'm outing myself that I hit up some fast food, but you never been to a fast food that you pull up and the menu is just digital. And so it instead of showing you the whole menu, it just shows you 8 big giant hamburger pictures and then it flashes to the next page, flashes to the next page.
I don't think so. So
Really?
yes, there may be a little bit of that, but they always got the big screen with the menu that's not moving. So I don't know, man. It might only
No, man,
be
we get 2 pages and they're one of them, none of them are committed to the old being just still. Everything's moving. And then they'll be like, oh,
interesting.
sir, what would you like? And I'm like, well, I'd like 45 seconds to just see everything. And then probably another 45 to think about it again as it passes through. which I could operate this in about 10 seconds if you just give me a still menu. So they're actually slowing it down. They're making it actually slow food, which is fine. I shouldn't be going and eating it every day.
Well, they got timers in there, right?
Yeah, so they're slowing
my
themselves down.
my first job was at BK, and we had like Burger King for BK Loungy. And
Okay.
yeah, they had the timer, and I don't remember what we tried to do to get people through the drive-through, but yeah, if we didn't hit our time, people were pissed. They were
Yeah,
pissed.
you were getting canned for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I quit that job as soon as possible.
I love it. I love it. How's the week been? What's been going on? Obviously, last week we had a good one, UFC. Josh Emmett took a loss that was, maybe not one we thought was deserved. And then the whole week's gone by, and here we are again.
Yeah, man, that was you pulled some great content from that, got that out, and in the world that was too funny. I checked my socks before I came in today to make sure there were no holes in them, just in case I had to throw my feet up for anything, because I want everybody to know that I don't have $1 million house, but I do wear rip socks. Look at you, I love it, I love it.
Your pad's worth a few bucks. Don't guess a nice
No. I was just in reference to your quote.
That's just what randomly came.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of some quote
Yeah.
about like rags to riches, and that's just what
right.
came out of my baked mouth.
No, I love it. I love it. But so yeah, it's been a busy week. We're coming to the end of my daughter's soccer season. So soccer games, sons in baseball and hockey, spring league hockey, which is just games. It's no practices or anything like that. So I'm coaching both baseball and hockey. So we've been running them ragged over the last few weeks. And we got Easter coming up here next week. So hopefully we get a little break over the Easter holiday here in the U.S.
Long weekend next weekend. Yeah, that's a good old one. It'll be fun. And yeah, my week is this. Not a whole lot, actually. Honestly, nothing. My kid's not skating anymore, so it's pretty slow. I'm just kind of in between activities for my kids right now, or for my kid right now. So this a good old week, like you said, putting out some content, having some time. But I'm looking to deep dive into the playoffs. It's gonna be a fun conversation today. And if anyone's checking out screen, we're over on Whatnot. We're gonna be ripping some cards right now. We got Alexander Volkanovski Intimidator card up for bid right now over on Whatnot. So you can hit the link that's down below Sleep there, and that'll get you in for some pack rips. But I think hockey's where it's at tonight. Obviously, playoffs are just around the corner. They start on Thursday, I think it is, right? Or 19th, sorry. So about a week out. But they're going to be firing up soon. It's looking like they're pretty much already set, right? We got the thing there thanks to Bleacher Report. If you can see it down in the bottom, whether you're on YouTube, X, whatnot, wherever you are. Thank you guys for joining in. Feel free to comment, give your Bush League takes as we go on these picks. But we got the playoffs pretty well set. Minnesota and St. Louis probably in, right? I think they each got one game left, but they are playing. Who's the last team looking to get in on that side?
It's Calgary. Calgary's the last team. Calgary and Minnesota.
Which is why I wore the jersey and announced it in the intro. Yeah, amazing.
No worries. And then on the eastern side, we got Montreal with I would say I think they got a 3-point lead on the Blue Jackets right now for that final wild card spot. So if things each team has 2 games left, both the Blue Jackets and Montreal. So if Montreal can pull 1 point out of their last 2 games, they'll lock up that wild card 2 in the East. But how about the Blue Jackets, man? Just starting the year with, such devastation with the loss of Johnny Gaudreau and then just coming and just playing their hearts out this season and doing great things, just hats off to them, to that whole organization. Nothing but a class act for this season for sure.
100%. It's cool to see them have his dad out lots. And I mean, it's obviously not going to be easy losing his sons, but the NHL and the team definitely trying. So it's pretty awesome to see that. It's not awesome to see why it's happening or anything, of course, but yeah. But no, it's good. And they're almost, I mean, who knows? Maybe Montreal could fumble the bag yet. I don't know if any of my Montreal buddy fans are watching, but they're praying to God. It's possible it could happen. I know like a month ago, I would have told you the Wings were for sure making it. Not going to happen, but 1 point in that'll change it all. The other side, I think, is pretty determined. But this one, it could happen if they lose both. They win both.
I agree, man, but I am on the Montreal wagon right now with them just getting
Okay.
what is it? Demidov over from Moscow. Lane Hudson playing out of his mind, a top 5 defenseman in the league this year as the rookie. He's, almost a shoe-in for the Calder Trophy. I know there's some argument for Celebrini as well, but it's been an excellent race, and you got Cole Caulfield just scoring left and right. Nick Suzuki playing out of his mind. It's things are looking up in Habland in Montreal. So I'm excited for them. I hope they make the playoffs this year, and just 2 or 3 years, man, they're going to be a perennial contender for sure.
For sure. And at the Western Conference, got thrown up on the screen there. You can see Blues and Wild. Basically, all they need is to get to 96, and they've locked it up. Flames would have to win all 3 games to get there, with Wild and Blues losing both, so a little less likely. It's pretty well going to be set with the Wild and the Blues there. And if we go over to our playoff predictions there, that sets the Wild up with the Winnipeg Jets for round 1. And Winnipeg Jets, obviously, first time winning the President's Trophy in their league history, as far as I know. I think I heard that. I could be incorrect. I might have just spewed some Bushleague facts out of my ass. But I think I seen on their socials, it's the first time in the team history winning the President's Trophy. So pretty cool for them to take that home this year. And just a dominant season. And always just silent in Winnipeg. I don't know if it's because there's not like a big media presence there of like all the cities. It's probably the least active that are in the NHL, but just a quiet first place in the NHL.
Yeah, super quiet, a very strong team, play a real team game, and just been so impressive this season. So impressive for the last 3-4 seasons. However, they have just been known to not be able to get it done in the playoffs. I actually think that based on the standings right now, this is actually wrong. Right now, St. Louis is in that wild card 2 spot, because St. Louis, after their 12-game win streak, I think they've been on a 3-game skid. So though those 2 could flop, I do think St. Louis might bounce back up. But in this setting right here, I don't think Minnesota stands a chance against the Jets right now. The Jets are just playing too good, too strong. They're bringing 4 lines at you every night. They got the best goalie in the world. The Jets are just too strong.
I mean, you got Kirill over on Minnesota, Eriksson Ek, Matt Boldy, the first line. That's nowhere near as strong as a Kyle Connor, Mark Sheffley I follow. I mean, it's deep. They got Nino Niederreiter on the second line after that trade earlier in the season with Carolina, and it's just a dominant team with the best goalie in the league, and that goes a long ways.
Absolutely.
And the goal is to keep the puck out of the net, and your goalie's the best. It's pretty helpful.
And Krill's just coming back from some time off, little injury, so he just got slotted back in the lineup this week. So I'd like to see him make a series out of it. Obviously, being a Stars fan, and we're going to see the winner of the Stars, Colorado versus Winnipeg, in my opinion. So going to need the Wild to beat up on Winnipeg a little bit to give the Stars or the Avs a chance against such a strong team. Again, the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen.
Yep. No, I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just going to throw that in.
You're good. One last thing while you're filling that in. This is Marc-Andre Fleury's last season. There's been a lot of cool stuff out on social media about it. Obviously, one of the greatest goaltenders of all time, number 2 on the wins list, right? Or no, maybe the games played list. He might be number 2 on both, behind Martin Brodeur. So, just hats off to him on an amazing career.
Yeah, and maybe Ovi and him haven't seen for the last time after that big ceremony. Maybe they'll meet again. Never know.
That would be pretty wild, man. That would be pretty special if that were to happen.
Right on. Well, I think it's pretty sealed. We're both taking Winnipeg Jets in the first round, because I do agree they're the better team. They're the most dominant team, and at the end of the day, that's who's supposed to get there. We'll maybe have to do another episode on what I think about how they should be set up. A true 1-8, which I guess is kind of how it would end up for this matchup, right? You're actually going to get a 1-8 in the East because of the way it worked out this year, but it's a little intriguing the way the playoff formats go, but that's all for another topic. But next one, I think I know who you're going to say. And again, shouts to everybody. If you're live here, whether you're on YouTube or X, you can comment live, give us your Bush League takes over on Whatnot. Join the Rips. We got cards live over there. I see my buddy Emery Biz and a few others, Jeff and BC, bunch of people kicking it. So love you guys. Thanks for popping in. We got some Volkanovski cards, some NHL cards. Just tell us over in the Whatnot chat what you want to see for cards, and I'll throw them up. But this one, I think I know who you're going to say. We got Rehu Modern over in the old Whatnot. He's going to be homering for Colorado. But it's a battle of the two favorite teams, of the two most active people on the Bushleague Sports Show. I don't know what you think about the old Dallas Stars and Colorado Avalanche matchup, but she's going to be a good one.
Let me tell you, man. So the Stars were on a 7-game win streak, I believe. Maybe it was a 5-game win streak, and all things were looking up. They were getting outshot in every game, but they were putting the puck in the net. And, obviously with Rantanen coming over, playing a much more skilled game versus a dump and chase type of effort. The Stars have arguably the best top 9 in the league, in my opinion, for sure the best top 9 in the league. However, they've been slumping since that run. They've lost 4 in a row. I think 2 of them were overtime losses. So, it's not showing 4 in a row. If you're looking at the stats right now, it's only showing 2 losses in a row. However, it's struggle city in Dallas right now. They're starting to get exposed with Miro Heiskanen out. Hiskanen's been out since that dirty hit by Mark Stone on Heiskanen out of nowhere.
We covered that a few weeks ago.
We did. And Hiskanen's been out since then. There was a rumor that dropped this week that Heiskanen would be out for the entire playoff. However, that's not true. They are expecting Heiskanen back midway through this opening series, and the Stars need him back sooner rather than later because, the Stars are just too green on their blue line. They have the defensive defensemen, Matt Dumba, Ilya Lyubushkin, Liam Bichel, who is a rookie. It's not great. Thomas Harley can't be out on the ice all the time. So the Stars are treading water right now.
Should they maybe wear their third alternate black jerseys?
Those are pretty sweet. Sweet. I didn't like them at first. But they grew on me.
Yeah, just maybe they'd be a little less green on the blue line then.
Yeah, there you go. But then looking at the Avs, Landeskog's back. He had his I don't know if he's played 2 games in the AHL now. I know he's played at least 1. He has a couple points, scored a goal. It's been a party, man. So the Avs are going to have Gabriel Landeskog for game 1. And Absolutely. It's so rad that he is back in the NHL after 3 seasons of being out. And again, in the AHL, he scored a goal in his first game. Maybe it was a second. I'm not sure. But to get out there, get a goal, and be doing the damn thing is so cool, so awesome for the sport of hockey to see that happen.
Well, and if anybody was listening to us through the Bush League Sports Show, especially if you got a keeper league, stashed Landeskog. Obviously, he wasn't going to help you in the playoffs this year. He's stashed on my old man's team in our league. I traded him to him, I think 2 years ago, actually. I traded for Landeskog. I sent Landeskog in a second for Hellebuck actually to make a playoff run, and so he's going to pay dividends for that next year. I also picked him up in another league on the last 2 days just to have for next year. But cool to see him back. Obviously, a long road to recovery. Went and played down with the Denver Eagles, I think, for a weekend there to get back in the rhythm of the game and everything like that. But the big thing for me is actually Mikko Rantanen being on the other side, right? He's gets that big trade, that big contract that sees him go to Carolina and not stay there, end up over with your Stars there in Dallas. And now in the first round, he's up against his old team. I think that's a storyline for sure.
Oh, it's a huge storyline. And I mean, Rantanen has played well. I think he has 5 goals since he's been with the Stars, maybe 8 assists or so. So he's not doing terrible. The Stars need to get more pucks to the net. Colorado is good, with Natchez, McKinnon, obviously Makar. Dude, Colorado is a great team. Some have Colorado going all the way, guaranteed. I would venture to guess over 25% of people's brackets have Colorado going all the way. So the Dallas Stars have their hands full. For me, my selection here is going to be the Dallas Stars all day.
I love it. And I'm going to go Colorado. I think that, with that missing piece on your end and with Landeskog coming back, I just going to have to be a little contrarian, and I'm just going to have to take Colorado and see where it takes us the rest of the way. And shouts to everybody and whatnot. I see we got some comments over. Emery, my buddy John, I love him. He's a beauty. Same as Trav and everybody else chilling over there. Yeah, I'm the Canadian Emery. This is me. I'm the guy that's been yapping lately. You got to speak your mind. Sometimes when people are robbing you, you got to let them know. But nonetheless, that's where I think it's going. Colorado.
I imagine that arena for Game 3 in Colorado, if Landeskog's there and playing, is going to be absolutely insane.
Is he wearing the
He's their
C?
captain.
You think he's wearing the C?
I think
Has anyone wore the C the last year? They haven't, right?
No. Nope.
Yeah.
I think he should. He should. He's your captain, and it's going to be a madhouse there.
Love it. And then moving on, Vegas and Blues, or like you say, could be the Minnesota Wild is the other matchup coming out of the west side there. I want to know your takes on that while I update our graphic on the back end.
Yeah, dude, get that back end work done. Okay. You asked me this a week ago. I'm scared of the Blues. Any team playing the Blues is in trouble after their 12-game run they went on. However, they're skidding a little bit. So I don't know. I think that Montgomery is going to be up for Coach of the Year after getting fired mid-year from Boston and then picked up by St. Louis. I still think he's going to be in for Coach of the Year by the end of the season, or when the award season comes. Nice. I do not think that they're going to have enough in the tank for such a powerful Vegas Golden Knights team. Like Winnipeg, in my opinion, they have kind of flown under the radar as well. I don't know if like Winnipeg. I don't know if it's, the Western teams, the teams without the huge names. Obviously, they got Jack Eichel, they got Mark Stone, they got Carlson, but I think they've kind of flown under the radar from national media. And I do think Vegas is a powerhouse. And in my opinion, Vegas is going to the Final Four, whatever you want to call it here. Vegas is going to the Western Conference Final, in my opinion, and I'm a little early with that pick, but just letting you know, I'm picking Vegas here. What do you think?
I love it. I love that take, and I love the info, more knowledge than I had for the Bush League host that I am. But I'm actually going to go just for the sake of lining up maybe a beauty matchup in the next round. But I'm going to go St. Louis, I think. I think they've obviously been really, really strong. We've seen them really come on this year. Binnington, I think, just like a big resurgence after winning the Cup with Canada. He seems like he's back to his old self, or not the Cup, but the Four Nations Cup or whatever, right? Seems like he's kind of back to his old self. And then going back to what I was chatting about a couple weeks ago, Broberg and Holloway leaving Edmonton, going to St. Louis. I mean, I just think they were really big pieces in how far Edmonton went last year in their journey, and to give them away, like we talked about, being the cheap young players that they are, I think it's going to be a mistake. And I think that the gods are going to put them head to head in round 2, just like we got Rantanen going against their old Colorado. I think that's going to be maybe a theme we see going throughout the playoffs here.
I'd love to see that, man. I would absolutely love to see that. I don't know if it's going to happen, but
and St. Louis just jumped in on whatnot. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just gave your team some props. So, feel free. We got some auctions going. You're giving your team the old bump. Don't be shy. We got a couple cards up for auction.
So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this offseason with offer sheets and St. Louis kind of setting that precedence and seeing. It's going to make for a more fun offseason, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an exciting series for sure. Me personally, going with the Kings. Love that you're going with the Blues, and it's going to be fun.
You're going with the Knights.
Knights. Yeah, Knights. Oh,
but now I think
we're getting to my next one, though. We're getting to my next one,
baby.
We're getting to my next one. I was already moved on in my head. Yeah, going with the Knights.
No, I love it. Kings and Oilers, and I mean, I've already disclosed who I think it's going to be. I think the Oilers will have enough in the tank to get by the Kings. But you've seen the thing, like you've seen it before with the Kings sneaking in that last spot, making those glorious runs they did a decade ago or better, right? I don't think they have that same team by any stretch now. At least I got Doughty. But I think the Oilers, as much as I don't think they're that strong, as long as McDavid and Draisaitl are healthy, that'll be good. But the Ekholm injury, that could play into it a little bit. But I think they're going to be strong enough to get through the Kings in round 1, personally.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So the Kings have played a great second half of the season. They have really poured it on teams. Incredibly impressive. And then you have the goalie situation in Edmonton. Is Skinner going to be able to do enough to win games, to steal games?
He didn't do enough to help me win my fantasy season.
Yeah,
so that for sure.
last year in the playoffs, Skinner stepped up for sure. There were a lot of questions, and he stole some games, in my opinion.
Yep.
This year, after the season that he's had, kind of a wishy-washy season, is he going to be able to do that against a team that has been maybe overperforming expectations in the Kings in the first round? I don't know. I'm going with the Kings on this one. This is going to be a huge upset. Oilers coming off of a Stanley Cup loss last season. I think the Kings are going to take them down in round one.
Ooh, that's a bold take. That's a very bold take. And if anybody in the chat, feel free to let me know if you weigh in, if you agree with that or not. But that's a bold one, saying the Kings are going to take out the defending team that was one win away from their Stanley Cup championship title last year. That's a bold one. I don't see it. I don't think that they have the tending to do it in LA either. I know Rittich, they've been pretty good this year, but I think you can lean on Pickard if Skinner fails and he'll carry you through. And I think, judging by the games this year, they could even end up riding Pickard, and we could see.
That's what I was wondering.
That we could even see a different goalie that the Oilers ride all the way through this.
That would be interesting. I was wondering, who are we going to see starting in game one in LA?
I think it'll be Skinner. I think it'll be Skinner starting game one, personally.
All right, man. I think we have our start of the West Coast, our first series down. Are we moving over to the East, or are we gonna just make our picks all the way to the Western Conference Championship?
No, I think we go the East here, because I'm funneling some graphics and stuff in the background.
No worries.
But
so this game's pretty much locked in over. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, should we rip some cards in between? Should we keep going? What do we do?
Oh man, I think we're on Whatnot right now, so I think you gotta rip some packs, man.
Any numbered Young Guns? Yeah, Frank's Sports just popped in. I don't have any numbered Young Guns. No, I have some Young Guns on hand, but I don't have any numbered ones chilling around right now that I have kicking up. Let's see. I don't know. Can we see in the bottom? Yeah, we see. What do we got? A couple Young Guns. Brett Leeson Young Gun. Grant Hutton Young Gun. We got a Young Gun that I need to mail out to you yet, Trav, that I completely forgot when I sent you your package. Jumbo, Wyatt Johnson. What's up?
Oh, let's go.
Love to see it. Yeah, we got some single. We'll throw something else up. Nobody wants the Intimidator. Nobody wants the reigning UFC champ. We just talked about the Edmonton Oilers. Let's throw a Leon Draisaitl card up for auction. I do have a numbered Artifacts. Adam Fox sitting right here, though. You want to get in on that bad boy? Let's go. Let's throw the Draisaitl. Let's throw it up cheap. $2. $2. Ice in the veins. Draisaitl. You cannot go wrong. We'll fire that up as soon as this one ends in 30 seconds. What do you got? You got some cards chilling?
Yeah, I was looking to see if I had any numbered Young Guns. No, I don't either. I mean, again, several Young Guns, no numbered Young Guns.
Yeah, no, same. I got a bit of a session. For everybody who's on YouTube, watching, wondering what the fuck are yapping about, we're live on Whatnot as well. You can tune in. We got the link down below. Sleep there. You can see it over on my little Accutar in the portal there. You scan that, or the one that I just popped up in his little room there, top right corner. That'll get you over into Whatnot. You can bid on the auctions live as they go. We're going to throw that Draisaitl up. Here we go. Draisaitl. Ice in the veins. We'll start her cheap. $2. It's going to run for 5 minutes so that we can yap about this team. That's how we time. That's how we time the next team. So getting back into the playoffs. Toronto, Ottawa. I know I said in the start, are they going to make her out of round one? It was a big, bold take I had the other day, and I don't think they're going to. I think that the Ottawa Senators are actually just on an absolute roll right now. And I feel like we're going to see an upset in Canada.
Oh my gosh. So Brady Tkachuk is going to will his team past the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's what you're saying.
We got Cousins that just went over there. We got Perron. We got Pinto. We got a few guys that have been rolling hot lately. Tendy's been playing good. Shabbat, the boys. Is Shabbat even playing, or is he out? I'm not sure. But nonetheless, it's the boldest and most Bush League take, and I just decided to make it up right now.
So I would love to see it. I don't think there's any way it's happening. I think that maybe it goes 6 games. Maybe. I think Toronto takes the first 2 at home. Maybe Ottawa gets a win at home as well. This is Toronto all the way. Toronto is too good of a team to be losing to Ottawa come playoff time, in my opinion.
You think? I mean, we seen who's your guys' fearless leader there, Mitch Marner. How'd he do against Canada a couple weeks back? They're not that great, right?
Huh? How did Mitch Marner plays for Canada?
I know.
Yeah. How did Brady Tkachuk do against Mitch Marner in Canada? No, Brady Tkachuk is an absolute beast, a beast, a legend. So stoked for him and everything he's done for Team USA hockey. And you know, when the Olympics come around here in, what are we, 10 months away, 11 months away, whatever it is, I'm sure that USA will be bringing home the gold. We'll have to get a little bet going before that event. However, in the battle of, I guess the battle of Eastern Canada, 2 teams in Eastern Canada, the Battle of Ontario would have been cool.
For sure to see Montreal and Toronto face off, kind of an old classic that we haven't seen since who knows when, but that's obviously one of the most storied rivalries in hockey, so it'd be fun to see for sure.
Yeah, but so I'm going Toronto here all day. You're going Ottawa. That is a bold take, Bush League take. I don't know what's worse, my pick of the Kings over the Oilers, or your pick there of Ottawa over the Maple Leafs.
Nice. And just for like knowledge purposes, complete Bush League pick. Like, you don't pick that if you're gambling. Absolutely not. You don't pick Ottawa. You definitely stick with Toronto if you're putting your money on it.
Heck yeah.
Love it. Next one, Tampa, Florida. So you said you wanted the Battle of Ontario. You got the Battle of Florida. What are your thoughts on that?
Dude,
I know I had my countries crossed for a second. Obviously, Brady Tkachuk seeking revenge on Marner. Didn't even know my own home country. I think that makes sense. So half us Canadians think we're living in America. We're more worried about Trump and the tariffs in our own government right now. So I'm just confused. I don't know where I am.
No worries. This one I love. Again, this is a great series. This is going to be a battle. This one's going to go 6 or 7. Obviously, you got Florida with quite a bit of injuries here at the end of the season. Some guys resting up for the playoffs, and then you got the Lightning, who have been playing out of their mind hockey. Jake Gensel, it's just Kucherov. You know, one of the best goalies in the playoffs of all time, Vasilevsky, 2 Stanley Cup finals in the last 5 years, two Stanley Cup final wins in the last 5 years, 1 loss. These guys are gamers, man. It's going to be a 6 series, and I'm going to take Tampa Bay in 7. I can't wait. I can't wait for this series.
Nice. Tampa in 7. I like it. And Stamkos obviously not there this year for the playoff run. He went over to Nashville earlier in the season, who they did not end up making the playoffs. So probably sucks for him to see. I just don't feel like they're the same team without like LeCavalier and then St. Louis and then now Stamkos. And I feel like that whole era is gone, and they're just a team I don't necessarily recognize at this point. I don't know if they're going to have what it takes to go against the defending Stanley Cup champions of the Florida Panthers. So that's a bold take on your end, but I think I'm going to have to go with the Panthers and the guys who have made it.
Are we legit picking against each other in all of these series? This is crazy, man. Somebody's definitely going to win and somebody's going to lose hard here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we took the first one together, and that's been about it so far.
So
I would have taken Toronto too, but I just had to be a jackass.
Other than the Stars and Avalanche series, this is the series that I am most excited about next. This is going to be a great series, without a doubt. And Matthew Tkachuk, obviously injury prior to the USA Canada game, didn't play in the final. I don't think he played at all. Maybe he went out there for a couple shifts. And has been out for the remainder of the regular season. So it'll be cool to see him back out on the ice and getting after it with Brad Marchand.
Yep. And if it plays out the way that I have stated, we will see the Tkachuk brothers play with each other in the 4 Nations and then against each other round 2 this year, Stanley Cup playoffs.
That'd be cool.
John, oh, we got people tipping us. The show's so good. Our buddy John tip us. $5, but what a legend. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody over one. Wow, we're giving such. Where were the tips when we were helping people win fantasy leagues? John, you should have told them to come and give us we should have been charging 10% of people's leagues, I think. Hey, maybe that's what we do next year, JT. We tell people, like, you can watch a show, but if you win your league, 10% coming back to the Bush League Sports Show. I
Love
think
it.
that's fair.
I think that's absolutely 100% fair.
Let's fire up the auction on the Draisaitl card. $2. Get her in you. Cheap.
Do it,
Beyond
do it.
that, Caps, Montreal Canadiens, bands
All
that make good dance. Bands that make good dance. Bands that make good dance. What do you think about the NHL goal record holder versus the Montreal Canadiens?
So that is all my feed is anymore. All of my reels on Instagram are just that line prior to going
really?
out on the ice with the chicken pom butt, you know, and the bands are make a dance. It's been fun, man. This has been, again, just an excellent season. All the different storylines. You got Leonard up with the Caps now, who's been playing fairly well, can definitely fit in at the National Hockey League level. Had his first fight the other night, which was kind of interesting. Didn't go so well. I think he got hit as well later in the game and went off the ice. I don't know if he returned. Hopefully he just shaken up a little bit and will be back for the remainder of the regular season and into the playoffs. But as I said, man, I'm on the Canadiens wagon right now. I think they're a good hockey team. I think they're going to be a great hockey team in the next 3 to 5 years. However, I don't think anything's stopping this magical run of the Capitals here anytime soon.
Ooh,
so I'm going with the Capitals here for this first round series against the Habs. It's going to be a fun one though, and you know. Montreal is going to be rocking for game 2 and for game 3 and 4. You know that barn's going to be rocking, and I'm going to be stoked to see it.
I love it. I thought you were like just trying to appeal to some of our like Montreal Canadian fans going
no
Canadians all the way, but I love the bounce back in the end.
No, not at all. Not at all. I am stoked for the Canadians and the future of that organization to get better. You know, just such a you know legacy there and with the Habs and hopefully they can bring it back.
And you think Cole Caulfield? Who's getting more goals in the series? Cole Caulfield or Alexander Ovechkin?
It's got to be Caulfield. It's got to be Caulfield. No, I don't know. I'm picking. I can't change it. All right, I won't change it. I would like to see Caulfield score more goals.
Love it. And then our last series.
Wait, who are you taking? Are you taking the Caps?
Yeah, I'm taking the Caps. Caps. I could never pick the Canadians. I beat them, my boys who are Canadians fans, far too much to ever take them.
Yeah, I get that. All right, perfect. Moving on
and then,
to the
Carolina jersey, the battle of the red shirts, the other ones. I don't know who you're thinking there. They're not two teams that have really been on my radar that much. Carolina, again, just not the same since making some of those trades. They would have been a powerhouse, I thought, keeping Rantanen in. They still end up with Necas and some picks, and then they're looking good. It just depends if we think Hughes and the Devils.
So with Nate just going over to Colorado, Stankoven and the picks that they got, I think that they've played better since Rantanen left than when he was there. When he was there, it just things weren't meshing. There were some rumors going down the street that he wasn't trying his best there. I don't know. But since he left, they've really kind of picked it up. They've had some battles with the Capitals, and that's something that I'd like to see. I don't know if you saw we should have got that on here, that one like hip toss in the game where the guy's bucket flew off and he almost cracked his head on the ice. So
I did see it.
So Tom Wilson got into a fight with Logan Stankoven, and Wilson's like this tall, you can't even see it's on the screen, and Stankoven's this tall. It's absolutely wild. So I'm primed for a second round series between the Caps and the Hurricanes, and that's going to be a bloodbath. So I'm going Hurricanes in this one. I think the Devils are just, they're too far out with Hughes gone. They had a pretty solid record prior to Hughes going out. And that kind of carried them through into the playoffs there, into that third seed in their division. So, they made it. Next year's a new year. Hopefully the Devils can kind of retool and come back stronger. But, the Hurricanes got this in the bag. I'm pretty confident. Again, maybe a 5-game series, maybe 6, but definitely early.
I like it. I like it, and I'm setting up our graphic here on the tail end. But I
No,
agree with that take. I think it's going to be Carolina taking it. I don't think the Devils have what it takes. I'm honestly surprised they're even a playoff team. But what do I know? I'm just the host of Bush League Sports, which is a Bush League Sports show. But
so
I think
by the way,
Carolina's
let me cut you off real quick. Biz on Spit and Chicklets last week. I don't know what he was talking about, but he said, "Oh, that's so Bush League," or "That was such a Bush League take," and I was like, "Oh, yes."
Where is it? I need the clip. You got to send me that.
I will. It's now I'll have to go back and listen to the whole show again. I can do that. Yeah.
If you know the range, if you can, is there a video with it?
I don't know. I was just listening in the car
on Spit and Chicklets podcast.
Yeah, Spit and Chicklets, the most recent episode.
Oh, nice. Maybe I'll listen to it. But if you have like a range of where it is, you should get that clip for us, and I'll run it in some content. It'll be funny.
That would be funny. Love it.
I mean, I have been like commenting heavily on Spitting Chicklets stuff lately, just being like, "That's Bush League" about everything they post. Maybe it's rubbing off secretly.
Love it, man. They're doing such a great job. Absolutely killing it. The other one that I've been listening to regularly is the Empty Netters with those two brothers. That's a great podcast as well. I wish I could talk a little bit more intelligently about them because I don't know. All I know is I listen to it weekly, twice a week, however many they do. And they absolutely crush the hockey content for sure.
Nice. I love it. Well, let's just fly through to wrap up the tail end of the picks, but going through, and again, if you're on Whatnot, hop over. We'll be ripping some cards here in a bit. But round one, you got Winnipeg versus Dallas. Who's moving on?
All right, so Dallas is going to the Western Conference Final.
Love it. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Nope. Yep.
No. I have to pull my graphic up. So
all right, no worries. So for me, I'm going Dallas over Winnipeg. Dallas going to the Western Conference Final, and then I got the Knights over the Kings. So you're going to see a rematch of the Western Conference Final from 2 seasons ago. It's going to be Dallas and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Nice, I love it. And then from there, who's going on?
From there, obviously Dallas going on to the Stanley Cup. I got to stick with the boys, just like I do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pick them to win every game, and you'll only be disappointed, in the Steelers' case, 70% of the time.
I love it. And on the other side, you got Toronto, Tampa.
Yeah, on the other side, Toronto, Tampa. I think Tampa's going to win that series as well. Again, Vasilevsky is just a stout goalie in the playoffs. He's gonna steal a game or two. Kuch is going to have a big playoffs, as he usually does. And we're going to see a sneaky Jake Gensel. Gensel's going to be one of the top scoring leaders in the playoffs this season. He did it a couple times with the Penguins when he was over there, where he was putting in goals like crazy in the playoffs. So I think Gensel's going to be up there scoring a lot of goals. So I'm going to the Eastern Conference Finals, Tampa. And then down below, we got the Hurricanes and Capitals on my board. I think that's going to be a great series. And I think this is where the Capitals season ends. I think this is where the Capitals magical season ends. Again, at the end of last year, I think they came in as a wild card 2 to the playoffs. They retooled a little bit and came back crazy strong this year. Had a good shot at winning the President's Trophy. Unfortunately, they didn't. Obviously, we had Ovechkin break Gretzky's record. I do think here in the second round of the playoffs is where the Capitals season comes to an end. And I think that the Carolina Hurricanes will face off against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the final, or in the Eastern Conference Final there.
And where are they headed from there, baby?
That's a tough one. So I want to see Carolina in the Stanley Cup. After all the drama that they faced, I want to see Carolina in the Stanley Cup. I think Tampa is more skilled, more of a skilled team than Carolina. Carolina may be more grinders. Tampa's got the goalie lead there. I think it's got to be Tampa going to the final, though I wish it was Carolina. I think we're going to see a 2020 Stanley Cup final rematch, Dallas Stars versus the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Nice. And then if I were a gambling man, which I am, I would think you have the Dallas Stars winning it all. Yeah,
Dallas Stars Stanley Cup final sweep, otter shutout every game. Yep.
Ooh, sweep and shutty every game. You love to see it.
Yeah. That's the Bush League take right there.
I like it.
No,
I
yeah,
like it.
I'm taking the Stars all the way this year.
I like it. I like it. Well, that completes your playoff draft. If you guys stick around, we will show you our graphs here in a few minutes, and we'll get them out on socials after the show. But we got to go over then and go through who I think is going to be taking it. You got the Dallas Stars going all the way. Nothing homer about that pick. I would have at least had a little dignity if the Red Wings made the playoffs and not picked them to go all the way. But, teach their own.
I love it. I love it. We got to get this guy back. Stars need to get this guy right here back. Got to get the Miro Heiskanen back.
Ooh,
and if he's back, we're good to go. That's a
ticket. Game ticket.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, I'm going to go. We got Colorado and Winnipeg getting through the first round. I think that's going to be a battle. I really just don't know who can come out on top with such a fierce fight in the West. I guess in the West, you got Winnipeg, who's just been so strong, who's going to end up facing off against Colorado. It just really depends, I think, on like the momentum that Landeskog can gather and if he can get it done. But at the same time, I think that Blackwood has been one of the better goalies in the league, and it could be comparable with Winnipeg and Hellebuck. So I think I'm going to have Winnipeg ending as well in the second round as you, but I'm going to take a different team going on. I think it's going to be Colorado taking their way to the second round. And then from there, Edmonton and St. Louis, the ultimate showdown, like I talked about. St. Louis, first their old squad in the Oilers, just getting that showdown with Broberg and Holloway. I think it'd be wild. But with that said, I still think it's going to be the Oilers who take that one and move on and get themselves all the way back up against the Colorado Avalanche.
I want to say that if I wasn't picking the Stars over the Avs, I would have the Avs all the way to the Cup, riding Gabriel Landeskog. And, Nate McKinnon likely going to win MVP for the season this year. Just a solid organization, solid team. Cale Makar, come on. Always a lock.
Yeah, isn't he one of the first goalies with 30 goals in a long time, ain't he?
First defenseman.
Sorry, not goalie. You guys know what I meant.
Yeah, 30 goals on a goalie would be impressive, though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, guys. I'm just doing my graphic up in the background here.
You're good, dude. I like that take. I like that take.
And then from there, it's a tough one, right? It's going to be Colorado, Edmonton. The way I have it lined up is Edmonton going to make it their way all the way back to it again? I'm going to do something crazy Bush League here. Okay. No, I'm not. I'm not taking Edmonton. I'm taking Colorado. I can't do it. I don't think the goalies are playing good enough. It's Colorado. Colorado's going to the Cup.
I would love that series, man. That would be a killer series.
Colorado and the old
Edmonton. It would be so good. It's such a great series. It would be a perfect Western Conference final. Unfortunately, Dallas is going to be there, but that would be a great series for sure.
I love it. I love it. And then from there, I'll have Colorado winning, going all the way. Florida versus Ottawa on the other side, going to be an easy win for Florida because what am I doing even having Ottawa in there at all? So that's an easy one for Florida. Take that home. Caps are going to be going up against the Carolina Hurricanes, and I think the Caps will take that and move on. Unlike you, I think they're going to keep it going, keep it rolling all the way, and play up against those Colorado Avalanche, where we will crown Alexander Ovechkin. Okay, here. You're going to hear it first. This is going to be maybe the most Bush League take, maybe the most bold take. Who's to say? But this year, Stanley Cup winner is going to be the Washington Capitals. We're going to see Alexander Ovechkin, who just broke Wayne Gretzky's goal record, then retire like he said he was going to in 2019.
And then Trump cancels all tariffs on Canada. Is that what's going to happen? Because you made the pick. You made the pick for America's DC's team. Is that's the deal?
I don't know. I was going to say, where's Canada catching a stray in here?
No,
but DC might be like
you're Canada.
I think that this year, if Alexander Ovechkin helps Washington Capitals win the cup, like you say, I think that we will actually see Trump and Putin negotiate a peace treaty instantly.
Potentially, that would not shock me at all. But hey,
Ovechkin wins it for DC. Immediate peace treaty.
I love that take. Another thing that I love about it is that both my Stanley Cup teams in the East and in the West, you knock out in the first round. I got the Stars and Lightning meeting in the final, and you knock them both out in the first round. These are going to be some great series, so I would not be shocked either way. However it turns out, I would love to see Ovi get another cup. Only has one right now. Could kind of ride off into fairy tale land with two. That'd be absolutely amazing.
I think that here, I'm just going to try to pull up our brackets here and see if we can't get them. So, oh, no, that's not it. Okay, one sec.
No worries. And I know that if you're live on Whatnot with us here, we're going to dive in after we review these brackets real quick. We're going to dive into the fight card from last night. Absolute monster of a card with Volkanovski reclaiming the 45-pound belt. You got Paddy Pimblett, who was just an absolute monster, laying waste to Michael Chandler. You had Pitbull make his debut in the UFC and get shut down, man. Great card. Can't wait to talk about it for a little bit before we get over and rip some packs. I know that TK, you got a box of hockey cards you want to rip, and I'm buying tonight. I'm excited.
Oh, I love it. And there's your playoff thing. Look at that. We pulled that off live. I might be the most amazing editor, co-host, host, whatever you want to call me, doing graphics live in the air. I'm looking down half the time, but what do you do? But there we go. There you have it. Dallas Stars sleeps NHL playoffs. Shouts out Bleacher Report for the graphic I half stole, and shouts to my little brother and Bushleague Media for the rest of her. And then shouts to me for figuring out Adobe.
Look at that on the right. You got the battle of the red shirts, as you said, and the battle of the blue shirts up top. That's pretty.
I like it. And then over on mine, it's just battle of the red shirts all the way, baby. Get the blue out of there. We're going red right to the end. And Washington Capitals taking her all the way. I just noticed that as we said it. But Colorado on one side, Capitals on the other. Ovechkin wins and retires.
That would be perfect, man. That would be perfect. I think the series between Colorado and Edmonton would be a very dreamy series. You got Nate Dogg versus Connor. Man, you love sports. Hockey is the greatest sport. You love all sports. Hockey, just nothing compares.
Absolutely. Well, I love it. That's our Bush League takes. Now you know what's happening in the NHL playoffs. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Now, beyond that, I guess from there, we're going into a little UFC. And UFC, I think, might trigger a little one of these.
Say, man, you know the best part of waking up is not giving a fuck? No, you do not. You got this because Big Snoop DOWG, their folk mixtape, and this is for you.
Well, let's go. Big shout out to Bam Bam Fitness, some of the best online workouts in the game, and a big shout out to Snoop and Dr. Bombay, as always, for any of the music you hear during the show. But I'd say that Paddy Pimblett laying that whooping on Chandler in the co-main event of the UFC. I know maybe you wanted to talk about some of the other events, which we gladly can, but let's touch on that one first, because that was honestly a beatdown, right? Like Paddy Pimblett said, he's been underestimated his whole career. And, said he'd never make the top 10. And now he's going to move the field goal post, like he said. But it was a pretty dominant win for Paddy Pimblett. And got to watch just the last little bit of that before I ended up crashing out last night, actually. I was, shout to my buddy Josh Courage, the Courage Show. I was in his show last night watching his V-Friends break over on Whatnot. And I told him, I'm like, hey, well, I'm going to come back, join the break a little later. I got to go read my kid a story and do a couple things. And ended up watching that fight, passed out. Had to watch the Volkanovski fight today to catch up with it. But I watched that, read her a book, and passed out reading the kid a bedtime story. You know how that one goes.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's tough. It is, as an adult, I fall asleep more in my kid's bed when I'm reading a story or listening to a story with them more than I fall asleep in my own bed. Like my wife says, like, you can't put the kids to bed. You can't, because then you stay up there till 3 a.m. and you wake up and then you're all pissed. So I have trouble. That's for sure. I have trouble. But the Paddy Pimblett Michael Chandler fight, shocked me. It absolutely shocked me. You'd seen Patty come up and, he gains all this weight after fights, gets in shape, fights well, gains all this weight, going against Michael Chandler, just a seasoned veteran, locked in all the time, dangerous all the time. Michael Chandler is dangerous in the 5th round. When he's lost the first 4, that dude is still dangerous. Man, was I wrong. Patty Pimblett put the beat down on Michael Chandler, and I'm stoked. Now I am all in on Patty Pimblett, and I'm so excited to see what's next for him. It would be amazing to see him against Charles Oliveira. I don't know if they're going to give him Oliveira. I think Chandler was 7. He was 12 at the time. He's going to be in the top 10 now, without a doubt, after that performance. What's next for him? Who knows? But Charles Oliveira would be a killer fight for him. The lightweight division is stacked. The lightweight division is absolutely stacked. So if
probably one of the most stacked in the UFC, probably.
Oh yeah. I had my hand like this and it caught the thumbs up. So Patty Pimblett proved that he deserves to be in the top 10. And I think that he's going to continue to prove us wrong, prove us haters. Again, I was a doubter. I was a Patty Pimblett doubter. He was the favorite going into the fight last night. And I thought, no way. There's no way Michael Chandler's going to be able to wrestle him when he's in trouble. I know that Patty's he's a submission artist, but still, Michael Chandler's been in the game a long time, and he's been in some wars, and he's won a whole hell of a lot of them. Unfortunately for Michael Chandler, dude, he got cut up quick, flying knee, cut under his eye. It was a mess, bloody mess. And then I
seen one knee on the ground, or one elbow on the ground. That was probably a little illegal to the top of the head. But I mean, it's hard though when a guy's defending and you're on top, and it's going to happen sometimes, right? But no, it was definitely a battle, and
Pimblett looked big too, man. He was big. He was strong. His size also surprised me as well. How well built he was.
Right on. Any of the other fights you were down, like Pitbull, you said, obviously you got to see him.
Yeah. My brain's not working right now. But great to see Pitbull, who was a Bellator champion for many years, finally make his debut in the UFC. Didn't go the way that he was hoping. I think he lost all 3 rounds. But good to see him finally in the UFC. But let's talk about that main event, the Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez.
Well, and as we do too, let's not forget we got an Alexander Volkanovski Intimidators card. The auction is live on Whatnot right now. This bad boy, we pulled that out of the Topps Finest pack. It's been a pretty sweet product, but that card's live right now. $10. She's all yours. We're giving it away.
Love it, man. Love it. So Volkanovski had Lopez hurt early. Didn't say not hurt. Had him stunned early. I thought that rounds 1 and 2, Lopez didn't look like himself. He kind of looked out of place, a little stiff, just not what you'd seen from him coming up to this title shot. Rounds 3 through 5, Diego Lopez came to bang, and I was impressed. I still give Volkanovski, 4 of the 5 rounds, maybe even all 5 rounds, but leaving the fight, I was confident that the Volkanovski coming in was going to win this handedly. I think he won it handedly. However, Diego Lopez was impressive to me, and I'm excited I haven't watched a whole lot of his fights live. I'm excited to kind of follow him and watch as much about him as I can live, because the dude can definitely bang, and got a chin for days. And I won't disagree. I think that it was a Volkanovski win, but kind of going back to what maybe we talked about last week, where I really don't think Josh Emmett lost that fight last week. And I know I'm probably biased to Josh Emmett, a big fan of one-punch cards, and he's just a humble gentleman himself. But nonetheless, I maybe am biased, but I don't think I am. I think it was a loss. I think that the other guy was backing up a lot of it and avoiding the fight. And I think you did see a little bit of that out of Volkanovski. In the fifth round for sure.
100%. And I hate that, man. I hate if you're all these guys running in the last round, no matter what. I don't think that determined the fight. I think he had enough rounds to win it no matter what. But I still think when you get to the last round and don't get me wrong, he was doing some good counter strike and doing it, but it was all, I don't know. It's such a hard thing, right?
Well,
because
it is hard.
Defense. It's because you're running, you're defending, but like you're also just running, and they say, well, you get points for being the aggressor, but the entire time he was not the aggressor. So it's
the entire fight, Diego Lopez was the aggressor, and I get what you're saying about him running. Number one, when Diego Lopez points to the middle of the cage with 1 minute left, he did it a couple times. Like, let's go, let's do this right here. No way you're not gonna see the Max Holloway, Gaethje thing happen. That just doesn't happen all the time. Maybe if it's two up and coming fighters and they're trying to show their stuff for Dana White, where they're just swinging wildly. Not when you have 4 rounds in the bag. I agree. Volkanovski was on his back foot a lot, but he was counter striking. He has to change the way he fights going into that 5th round, because Diego Lopez has changed the way he fights, right? Diego Lopez knows he has to knock him out. He knows he has to do something to win the fight. So he has to change the way he fights. So Volkanovski has to change to adjust to that. Right. And I don't know. I do agree that he was running, but I mean, when somebody's coming at you like that, I don't know what else you can do without getting into
trying to be entertaining, try not to take it to a decision. I mean, that you could do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
I'm just here to give my Bush League takes, trying to entertain people, but you're probably right.
I agree with you, but it's not like in the 5th. Again, going back to the Holloway Gaethje fight. In the 5th round of every fight, you're not going to see 2 guys just bang it out. You know what I mean? Going for a win. It's not going to happen. It's never going to. For the BMF, it will. For a couple new guys trying to show their stuff to Dana, trying to get some love with some fans. I don't know. I think that he had to adjust based on how Lopez adjusted in attack.
No, I respect it. And at the end of the day, I mean, Alexander Volkanovski is an absolute warrior. One of my favorite fighters to watch for sure. But like you said, I don't know if I've watched a lot of Lopez fights. I think I'm going to be a lot more interested in taking a peek at a few of them down the stretch for sure.
Huge fan of the guy. Kept grabbing his neck because I guess he has some kind of tick about grabbing his neck. It was kind of interesting. I really enjoyed watching him fight. That's for sure. I was pulling for him the whole time, even though, again, a Volkanovski fan, I wanted to see the underdog put something together there, put together a win.
Love it. Well, no, it's a good one. And nothing too wild this week. Not as entertaining as holes in the socks and curling rambles as last week, but I think a solid look forward on what we think is going to happen in the NHL playoffs, and a couple Bush League takes of the old UFC. What more can you ask for in the card slanging on whatnot? Love to see it.
Yeah, man. Dude, I appreciate you doing these shows. Love coming in here every Sunday, talking hockey. It's going to be hot and heavy over the next couple of weeks as we move into the playoffs and start seeing these teams come to life. So can't wait. And we'll talk more soon.
I love it. Well, next week, I think, let me pull up the schedule. Next week, I think on the docket, we will be, that's a big one next week. The NFL mock draft we're doing. So if you hear, whether you're on YouTube, X, whatnot, please tune in next week, because we want to get some takes. We're obviously very early before NFL season, but next week, on I think Thursday, not like next week after our next show, is the NFL draft starting for 2025, right? So we'll see who's going to go first overall. Looking like it could be Cam Ward in that consensus spot. I think we're going to see Ashton Gente end up being the number 1 fantasy pick. But over the next couple of weeks, we're going to kind of just do a deeper look on the NFL and give you a little bit of what's going on there as we keep you up to date with what's going on in the NHL playoffs, so that we can move deep into the NHL playoffs as we get a little further. But over the next 3 weeks, we've got an NFL mock draft. So Sleep and I are going to roll through who we think the NFL teams are picking 1 to 32 in round 1. Week after that, once we know where everybody's drafted, where they're sitting and what's happening, we're going to break down who we think should be the top fantasy picks the next season, and follow that up 3 weeks from now with a live draft. Me and the boys, it will be our, I think, 9th or 8th or what's some number. It'll be a big number annual Bush League rookie draft. We're going to be doing that live on the show. Myself, Sleep, a bunch of the boys from the Bush League Dynasty crew. We're going to be up here. Sleeper app, our favorite app to use for fantasy, and getting that done. So next 3 weeks, deep dive on the NHL or NFL as the NHL playoffs get rolling.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. This will be my first time playing in this league with you. I'm stoked. I'm feeling okay about my team. Not those Bush League trades you keep sending my way.
I'm just trying to make your team better, buddy. That's all.
So wait, I want to let the people know that I get a Deshaun Watson trade from TKB probably once a week, trying to give me Deshaun Watson, and I don't know why. I don't.
Well, just because my team's so good and you need some quarterbacks. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help.
I got Mason Rudolph. He's the starter in Pittsburgh. What are you talking about?
That's fair. No, I mean, obviously, I appreciate you coming into the league this year and joining and taking over the one team. It's a bit of a not as good of a team, but that's, I mean, usually what happens when someone's fading in the league and then they end up removed, as maybe they aren't taking care of the team as well. But that's why you get a free year rolling in. I think you know a big trade you made already shook up the league, got rid of Laporta, sent him packing, and got some picks and a couple players, I think, or a couple players if I recall. So big shake up for you, which we can deep dive into for sure.
Yeah, I am not mad at the roster that I have. I'm actually pretty comfortable with the roster that I have right now. I think I could maybe make a couple more moves. We'll see.
You have a few positions that are rock solid. You have nothing to worry about, which is all you can ask for in Dynasty usually.
Yeah. So my challenge though is that I came into this team with no first round picks for the first 2 years. And that's my biggest issue. So, if I'm looking for a stud, and I'm likely going to finish lower on the totem pole this season. Last season, obviously the guy finished lower on the totem pole, but my issue is that prior to me inheriting the team, he had traded his 2025 first round pick and 2026 first round pick. So there's no help for me in drafts in the future, right? I'm not going to be able to sign one of the top running backs, top receivers, top quarterbacks in these upcoming drafts. So that's the thing that I'm going to struggle with for the
I don't disagree. And with the way we structure the league too, and the trades he made were legit. Like he chased some quarterbacks 2 years ago.
Sure.
It didn't work out, like Levi's and a few players. It didn't work out. So that sucks. You did have Laporta, which came from one of those deals, which you ended up trading. Laporta.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Deal with one of the firsts, and then he ended up picking him there as well. But the way we structured the league too is actually there's a certain amount of draft capital, right? On the Sleeper app, you get 3 years of draft capital. And so we have rules, I think you've seen them maybe pinned in there now, where you have to hold a certain amount of draft capital. If you get below that threshold, what we do in the league is we actually make the person pay for the next year after, so that if they quit, it's a free league for the next guy. That team never got to that point. It's still a valid roster, and it still had enough draft capital. But like you said, it came in a little weak because one or two of the trades he made didn't pan out, and then no picks for a couple years. So you parted Laporta, did your thing. But that's kind of what happens when you come into a dynasty that's been drafted. You kind of have to revamp it, do a little like my buddy Smavis that's in there in the team. He's just kind of fully blowing his whole team up for picks. But that's what I did 4 years ago in the league. I blew the whole team up. I mean, the team that won last year, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, they all came from me. And when you look at my roster and go, why is this team so stacked? It's literally because I sold everyone for like 3 years and just stocked picks, and then it's been paying dividends. So it's interesting to see that he's just yard sailing the whole team in a manner, and you're kind of in the middle. It's cool to see what people do. But we'll get into that next week, or we're going to start a whole nother freaking show. We've chatted 7 minutes over the time, and I know you want to call her a day.
Yeah,
so thank you. And next couple weeks, deep dive on NFL, and I look forward to going over who we think those rookie picks will be next month. So we're going to have to we'll relay a little bit over the next week and try to come up with who we think and come up with a little plan for next week's show.
Perfect. Love it, man. Hey, thank you very much. And I'll see you over on Whatnot.
Appreciate it, brother. We'll see you there. And for everybody who's here, we are live on Whatnot. I'm going to pop over there, rip some cards for a few minutes, and then get to editing the show after. So we will see you over there. Hit the link below. Be sleepy. and we will see you over there, baby. And as always, episode 57, Bush League Sports. Shouts to Sleep for coming and co-hosting. Shouts to Bleacher Report. We stole the graphic from them. Shouts to Daily Faceoff. We stole a bunch of stats from them. And shouts to everybody who's been tuned in on Whatnot throughout the show. We appreciate it. It's been a good day. We chatted a little NFL, NHL. Got you dialed in on who we think's taking home the cup. We'll give you one last look. I got Caps going all the way. Ovechkin retiring at the end of the season. And we got our boy co-host Sleepy Sleep with his hometown Dallas Stars going all the way and taking it. But that's all we got for this week. Next week, NFL mock draft. I thank you guys for chilling. Come hang out over in Whatnot. I'll pop it up one more time. There's the link down over there somewhere. There it is. Boom, 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 boom. We'll see you over there. And until then, stay Bush League, you beauties. Have a good one.
From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. Tell them never question, dog, I'm sitting goat status. Eating chicken with my jeans, smoking on some cabbage. Just a pedal on this
moment where you skate down the street and some shit brain yells out of his window, "Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip!"
And house shoes, they know how the dog do. Skinny, heavy pockets, the West OG. Came across the globe, say they don't know me. Been applying pressure from 8 to 24 like Kobe. Mr. Hall of Fame used to bend the corners with strollies. Had to lay the blueprint, they rolled out the carpet. Anything I wanna own, I got my own.
Put together like a little fitness promo with the Dr. Bombay certain songs.
Still ain't sold my guns and I still ain't had to use them though.
Motherfucker, Dr. Bombay! What's up, brother? Good to meet you, man. I know there's a man behind that mask with such a suit, man. I appreciate you. But you guys are sick, man. I appreciate I collected all your shit, man. I love you. We don't do it drugs, but you do this shit with me. Coming at you live, so
all right, guys, Joel Mills here with the Bam Bam Boxing Academy. Now, these 14 workouts are specifically made to take you from simple mechanics all the way to a full fighter by the end of the 14 workouts.
This is some straight. Hey.
This is, oh gosh.
I got thin to smoke it. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. I can't name a thing that I didn't have step. From the streets to movie screens, been getting bags and checks.